It was a warm summer evening in Alma, Arkansas. Families gathered under stadium lights. Kids chased each other around the bleachers. One little girl asked her mother if she could catch fireflies with her friends. Just a few minutes later, she was gone. This is the heartbreaking disappearance of Morgan Nick. Morgan was 6 years old in June 1995. She had blonde hair, bright blue eyes, and a playful, curious personality. She lived with her mother Colleen and had just finished kindergarten. That night, June 9, they drove from Ozark to Alma, about 30 miles away, to attend a local Little League baseball game. Morgan wasn't much into baseball, but she enjoyed spending time with her mum and playing with other kids. As the sun began to set, Morgan asked if she could join her friends to catch fireflies near the parking lot. At first her mother hesitated. It was late and dark was settling in. But the area was full of kids and parents. It felt safe. So Colleen said yes. She watched as Morgan ran off giggling, holding a jar. A few minutes later the game ended. Parents started packing up their lawn chairs and the crowd began to thin. One of Morgan's friends returned to the bleachers. He told Colleen that Morgan had gone to the parking lot to empty sand out of her shoes. She was alone for less than 2 minutes. When Colleen walked towards the parking lot, she couldn't find her daughter. She searched, she called out, she checked behind cars and nearby restrooms. Panic set in. Within 15 minutes the police were called. A statewide search began almost immediately. Roadblocks were set up, helicopters were deployed. Search teams combed the woods and nearby fields, but there was no trace of Morgan. Witnesses reported seeing a man near the parking lot around the time Morgan disappeared. He was described as being in his late 20s or early 30s, driving a red pickup truck with a white camper shell. He had been acting suspiciously, watching the children. That man has never been identified. Despite thousands of tips over the years, the investigation has never led to Morgan. There have been sightings reported in nearly every state. None have been confirmed. In the early days, some believed she might have wandered off, but the search area was covered thoroughly. Police quickly concluded this was an abduction. One of the biggest challenges was the timing. She was out of her mother's sight for less than 5 minutes. Whoever took her acted fast, quietly, and with purpose. As time passed, Morgan's case became one of the most high-profile missing child cases in America. Her face appeared on billboards, flyers, and milk cartons. Her mother, Colleen, never stopped searching. She became a tireless advocate for missing children and eventually launched the Morgan Nick Foundation, an organisation that supports families in crisis and helps coordinate emergency responses for missing kids across Arkansas. Thanks to her efforts, the state created the Morgan Nick Amber Alert system, helping to mobilise communities quickly when a child goes missing. Over the years there have been developments but no resolution. In 2002 the police searched a private property in Boonville, Arkansas, after receiving a tip from a convicted child molester. Ground-penetrating radar detected anomalies and cadaver dogs were brought in, but no human remains were found. In 2010, a man in Missouri tried to use Morgan's identity to apply for a driver's license. He was arrested, but investigators determined he had no actual connection to the case. In 2021, police again searched a house in the town of Spiro, Oklahoma, based on new information. Cadaver dogs reportedly signalled the presence of human remains, and investigators removed pieces of flooring and dug into the property, but no body was found, and no charges were filed. To this day, no one has been arrested for Morgan's disappearance. No one has been able to explain how a 6-year-old girl could vanish from a crowded public place in the middle of a warm June night with dozens of people nearby and leave behind no evidence. There are theories, Some believe Morgan was targeted, that someone had been watching her waiting for the right moment. Others think it may have been a crime of opportunity, a predator who saw a child alone for just long enough to strike. There are also those who think someone knows something and has stayed silent all these years. Morgan's family has never given up hope. Her mother still believes she could be alive. The case remains open and law enforcement continues to review tips and follow leads. Morgan Nick would be in her mid-30s today. She was last seen wearing a green Girl Scout t-shirt, blue denim shorts and white sneakers. She had 5 visible silver caps on her molars. Her disappearance left a permanent mark on Arkansas and on every parent who's ever looked away for just a moment. If you have any information about the disappearance of Morgan Nick, contact the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children or the Alma Police Department. Because somewhere, someone knows what happened on that summer night in 1995, and Morgan still deserves to come home.